What's going on? What's going on?
Yo,
Back
yo,
at it.
yo.
Another episode. The Man to Man Pod. It's July 21st. Beautiful Thursday. Appreciate y'all tapping in. I'm one half of the pod, AB. Got my co-host D Butt.
Yes, sir.
What's good, family, man? We got another good show for you today. Monday, man, was a hell of a show. Good conversation, good dialogue.
Yeah.
A lot to talk about today, man. You know, we had the ESPYs last night. Steph Curry hosting. Man, I think we're gonna break down one of the divisions today.
Yep.
We're gonna do the NFC West today, man. See what my guy D Bud thinks about the NFC West.
Man, what else let's get it, man. I mean, shit, you know, we finally made it though. Everybody reporting to training camp. It's almost football time. That's what most of the people are here for. Some real football talk. And as you know, once some training camps kick off preseason, that's all we in all the way up until February. We hit the ground rolling, cooking with gas. But right now we had the ESPYs last night. I didn't really get a chance to watch. But I did see a bunch of the clips, you know, circulating on Twitter. It looks like Steph did a pretty good job hosting. I felt like the crowd was kind of dry though, because some of his jokes I felt like was a little funnier than they gave him credit for. What else do we have? I know you were watching track and field.
Yeah, track and field, man. Past couple of days, man. Been watching the so I watched the World Championships. I think there was like this past weekend, and then they got something else going on in Oregon, man. So obviously watched them compete on the track.
What else? Last time we was on here was the night of the home run derby.
Yeah.
So my pick ended up winning. Juan Soto. Who we got a little news about him that we're going to talk about with Juan Soto. You know, he showed out at All-Star Weekend, obviously with a lot of the talk around him turning down that big $440 million deal from the Nationals. Like I said, we'll talk a little bit more about him. It's Jimmy race G. Week. Jimmy G, my guy, Jimmy G.
Jimmy G.
What happened with Jimmy G, man? We'll talk about it, I guess.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it. We're just going to put it out there. But now we'll definitely jump on pause with Jimmy G, talk about that, see where he could potentially go and trade talks. So,
yeah, man, we got to get to it. Throw some questions in the chat. Throw them on Twitter. We definitely got at least one question that we took from Twitter that AB wanted to answer and talk about. So if you are on the Twitter, hit us up, man to man, and then use that hashtag M2M Live. Get your question answered. We got a little bit to talk about crypto too. It's ugly. Winter is here for crypto. It's ugly right now. It's looking a little better in some fronts, but the grand scheme of things is ugly right now. Not only crypto, but just hey. The dollars up to the euro. We got some stuff going on in Sri Lanka. We got some crazy stuff going on in China with the banks. Man, a lot to talk about, man. We'll get to it all. Some NBA, a little bit of NBA news too. But yeah, man. And the best part of the show is the interaction from y'all, the questions from y'all. I feel like we that's when y'all get the best insight and answers from us, man. But anything else before I hit this intro?
Nah, man, let's catch them on the other side.
Let's get it. Sir.
Yes, sir, man. We back.
What you want to jump into, man?
Well, let's jump into it, man. Let's get to this. Let's get to some football news, man. We just talked about it. This Jimmy G trade, San Francisco 49ers. They give Jimmy G agents permission to seek a trade. You know, here reported by Adam Schefter, giving Jimmy G's agent Don Yee and Carter Child permission to seek trade. Garoppolo has been cleared to start practice per team source. 49ers still are expected to exercise caution with him this summer. Obviously, him being cleared, he has shoulder surgery. And I think this is one of the reasons why potentially this action has been delayed. Obviously, you know, other teams not really knowing what his health status would be. So, you know, wouldn't really go in and put all their eggs in the basket per se for Jimmy G. But now that the surgery is done, he's been cleared. Now, you know, 49ers can engage. Well, 49ers given permission where Jimmy G can engage with other teams, see if they can seek a trade. Man, where do you see two things? Where do you see Jimmy G being a fit, especially at this time of the year, being that, you know, we've gone through free agency, we've gone through the draft, and two, talking about the San Francisco 49ers, and you've always stood firm on the Niners having the best quarterback, you know, room over there. How do you feel?
I don't know about always stood firm with that. I started off with that last year, but you know, sign of intelligence is a man being able to change his mind. But
true indeed. But how you feel about the Niners going forward with Trey Lance?
I mean, you moved all those picks. You went up, jumped up there to number 3 when you already had a solid team. You know, a team that had already made, you know, a Super Bowl appearance before moving on to get Trey Lance. So obviously they believed him coming out. We sat down with one of his former teammates, you know, down in Miami, Christian Watson, spoke very highly of him, kind of echoed a lot of the things that we've been hearing behind the scenes. They know better than absolutely everybody else knows at this point. We only saw him play a few games last year. Didn't really have enough. I felt like he could have had some more packages, you know, in the game plan, you know, a little 5-10 maybe play script where you just bring Trey Lance in to switch things up. Didn't see much of that from Kyle Shanahan. But they made the decision to move on from Jimmy Garoppolo. And a lot of people obviously have strong opinions about his play. He has won. And when it's not a quarterback stat, you know, San Fran has had a good football team around that quarterback position. But it's something to be said about, I think, a 31-14 record and winning the playoffs as well. So, I don't know. The jury's definitely out. You know how I feel about Jimmy G. I would have kept riding with him. But once they made that move to jump up to number 3 and take Trey Lance, the writing was on the wall from that point. So I'm also excited about the new future for Trey Lance. He is a young, talented player with not a lot of experience under his belt.
Yeah.
And he's in a great situation. We always talk about how important the situation is around those young quarterbacks. You know, you spoke about, you know, Sam Darnold been in New York and then moving on, and Zach Wilson struggling. So being that he has a good team, he has a, you know, Trent Williams on his O-line, got to shore up that interior O-line. You got a good defense. You got good pass catchers. You got a good play caller in Kyle Shanahan. All the things are in place for Trey Lance to succeed. The ball's going to be in his court. So I'm excited about that, but I think it'll be – I don't think they're going to do too great. I think their win total is 9.5. We're jumping ahead a little bit. I think they got a 9.5 win total right now.
Okay.
I think I might be under that for the Niners this year with Trey Lance at quarterback. This young man, I think it's going to be some growing pains. How you feel about it?
Definitely going to be some growing pains. And, you know, I think it's a, you know, decision that John Lynch and Shanahan, they sat around and discussed and talked about. And to your point, you know, they figured this is the perfect time for the team, for the organization, for Trey Lance to go ahead and take the lead and lead this team. I definitely agree with you when you say I think it's going to be some growing pains for Trey Lance. I think at all quarterbacks it happens. Still in that division, you know, it's going to be some tough games regardless of. You know, you're looking at Seattle, not sure what that quarterback situation is going to look like, and you got Arizona.
That would be the place too. I think you asked me
but
that too. I think that'd be the place for Jimmy right now.
Yeah, but would the Niners trade within their division? You know what
I
I'm
think
saying?
if Seattle's willing to pay that, what is he to do? Like 25? If
Yeah,
they're willing to get that off their books and they don't have to pay, 18 of that, 17 of that. If Seattle says, hey, we'll take that off your hands, I think they will be. I mean, shit, you want to move on from him. You made that clear right after the season. So
you did, but but again, you see in that statement they said they're gonna be real cautious with it too, though. So it's not like anybody that's coming to the table. And I would think just experience. The last 3 of the last teams they will want to trade him to is within that division. Because to your point, he is a good quarterback. He can win games for you. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I definitely think he'll be out of there by week 1. He'll be somewhere, and looking at it, man, Seattle. I know a lot of people in the chat talking about going to Cleveland, being a backup, but I know that's not going to happen.
I think they are. I think they kind of put a nix on that won't happen.
Yeah, so I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure what other teams out there that really need a quarterback. Carolina, they went ahead and made their play for Baker. The only other team I see out there is Seattle. Seattle
be it. I mean, New York, you got New York Giants, you got Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah. I'm hearing it. I'm seeing in the chat, Marcus Houston.
Houston, you just drafted Davis Mills last year. Yeah, second round pick who played well. Especially if you look around that whole quarterback class, Trey Lance, Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence, who stunk it up. He won the top of the draft. He got outplayed, I think, in the same division by Davis Mills, if you ask me. So, I don't think Houston would be a good landing spot. Tough spot to be in as a player, as a quarterback at this point in the season. Like we said earlier, teams are reporting for training camp. So you don't even want, ideally, you don't want a QB competition at this point in the season, but you definitely don't want a quarterback that's coming in fresh off of, shoulder rehab, and then you got to learn the playbook and get on the same page with the receiver. So it's a tough spot for Jimmy to be in. I think with one more year on his contract left too. But, San Fran has given his agent, Don Yee, permission to seek a trade. So, like you said, it'll be done before week 1, I believe. But it'll be anywhere you – somebody said Chicago Bears. Nah, you just drafted Justin Fields. New Orleans, you got Jameis. It's going to be interesting, man.
Yes, it is. It is.
I said Detroit could use him. They're already paying Goff a lot of money. But yeah, we shall see.
Yeah.
Any more football? We got Kyle Rudolph. Not really. I don't think this changes I don't think it changes much. Obviously, with Gronk saying he's retiring for the second time.
Second time.
You believe Gronk? You think Gronk will come back mid-season, post-training camp, or he done?
I don't know, man. It's funny because Drew Rosenhaus is his agent, right? Or was his agent, right?
I'm not sure. I think so. I know he was at least. I'm not sure if he still is.
So I think, whoever his agent was, I think it came out and was like, I don't think, this is set in stone. I think he still might come back, I think. And then I think I heard, I seen where his girlfriend said the same thing. Like, well, so I don't know, man. No, I hope he's done. I hope it's not one of them things where, we retire, come back, we retire, we come back. But whatever his decision is, man,
I think he did. I know you called the Brady unretirement. You kind of saw that one coming. I thought he was done. I took him at his word. I thought he had kind of proved everything he needed to prove and was going to go off into the sunset, even though he didn't win the chip his last year. But Gronk, it's different. That body been beat up. He came into the league with his back already having injuries in college. That's kind of why he went where he went in the draft. So I think Gronk is done. He said he would answer the call for Brady, but he said he was done. So I'm gonna take him at his word. But the Tampa Bay Bucks have signed former Viking, former Giant Kyle Rudolph to a 1-year deal. So, another vet in the room.
Yeah.
Another vet in the room. So they might have to move Leonard Fournette to fullback with the reports. Tight end.
Boy, what they say? What, 250?
But said he showed up to the mandatory 260. That's tough. That's the reports, at least.
Yeah. But I mean, sure. I'm pretty sure he's been getting some work, and it depends too, though. Like, everybody put on weight and is different. Where I know 260 does sound like a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you look at Leonard Fournette, he does have that body frame that could hold that. So if you pumping them weights hard or whatever the case may be, but you still don't want your running back at 260.
Hell no. What the good thing about it is he got training camp in Tampa. So if he running, he doing whatever he got to do, I mean, you can't drop, 15, 20 pounds in a healthy manner, at least that quick. But hopefully they'll have a plan. He'll have a plan. He's been around the game long enough. I'm sure the staff will take care of him. He'll get back on point. He said he'll, see y'all when the season start. Y'all got all this shit to say. I see y'all when the season start. And some people, that's how they approach their off season. More power to them. But
yeah,
when you show up to training camp, it just makes camp preseason that much more difficult. You got to deal with soft tissue injuries and just different things. And so obviously I'm hoping that he doesn't have to deal with any of that. But obviously you hear 260. That's concerning. But that's a report, so we'll see.
Coming downhill on running back 260.
He been like you said, he can hold that weight. What else we got, man? I guess this football news. Did we get drafted the same year? We might have got drafted the same year. But I've known Jason for a long time, man. Known the twins, J Mac, Devin. I was in New England, obviously, when his brother got drafted. But Jason McCourty joining Good Morning Football to permanently replace that seat left by Nate Burleson. Obviously, I was on there last week. They've been having rotating people throughout there. So now I think they got the full cast. It's Jamie Erdahl replacing Kay Adams, Jason McCourty replacing Nate, and then Kyle Brandt and Peter Schrager still been there. So shout out to J Mac, man. This will be a great opportunity for him. Fresh off of the football field, retiring after a great, I believe, 13-year career.
Yeah.
Got a Super Bowl championship with his brother. I can't imagine, what that felt like, especially with the shit he dealt with on other teams. I think he was a part of the 0-16 season with Cleveland. But great pro, great man. And I think he's going to be – I saw him do his audition a few weeks back, and he was really good with the cast. So looking forward to him being in that role, man. Shout out to J Mac.
Man, congrats, man. We need more former players, man, in that media seat, in those media seats, talking the game, being able to give the viewers and the fans that terminology. So shout out to Jason, man.
Absolutely, man. He gonna be dope. Somebody said when we gonna have Yannick on the show. It's in the works, and I think it might have been you who kind of had helped this all come together. Trashy McStoner on Twitter. If I'm not mistaken, could have been you, could be somebody else, but I think it was you who started the conversation about getting them on the show and getting them on Pat's show as well. But that's dope, man. So Yannick, hopefully we have him on the show soon. Hopefully we get some more of these new coats too, kind of introduce him more so to the fan base. He's excited to be in the city. We're excited to have him. Obviously, we need guys getting after that quarterback. The heydays of the Colts championship runs when AB was out there, we had dogs coming off that edge. So get back to it.
Hey, 1001, 1002, 1003. I knew the ball was coming out, baby. So it won't no sitting back there in the pocket patting that rock.
Absolutely. So now you got DeForest up there. We drafted Quiddy Pay. Still got Big Grove. And and then another. And I when I was playing, I remember he was in Jacksonville at the time, Yannick, and he was an absolute dog. He's bouncing around from some teams, but hopefully he sticks around with us.
Yeah, man. What else we got? Let's see if we NFC. So let's talk about it. Got it in here. NFC West. We're gonna break down this NFC West real quick. We just finished talking about the San Francisco 49ers. Going ahead with Trey, Lentz. We got the Los Angeles Rams. Talking about the odds. Los Angeles Rams plus 125. San Francisco 49ers plus 200. The Cardinals is plus 300. And the Seattle Seahawks plus 1,500. Who do you like winning this division, D-Buck?
I like the Rams, man. I like the Rams running it back. Just a quick look at division once again. Rams, Niners, you got Cardinals. You got obviously D-Hop is going to be out early on in the season, first 6 games with the suspension. But they have had issues finishing seasons, finishing strong with that coaching staff, with the quarterback, with the team. Like they come out fast, don't finish strong. You know, you added Hollywood Brown, which I think is going to be a great addition to that team. I think this is a much better fit for him and the style of offense for him to be successful with his college quarterback, another college quarterback reunion out there on the West Coast. J.J. Watt, hopefully he can get out there and be healthy this year. Obviously, that's been tough for him. But you got questions there. Can they finish? You got questions in San Francisco, the new quarterback. And then you got a lot of questions in Seattle, losing Bobby every day in rebuild mode, in my opinion. So I'm going to Rams, man. Matt Stafford, first year in town. He going to win the Super Bowl. You bring back a lot of the guys from the team that won that Super Bowl. Now, you've won a Super Bowl, so obviously we've heard about the Super Bowl hangover, and you know, I can only talk to you about if that's a real thing. But yeah, I got the Rams winning this division, man. Who you got?
I got the Rams too. To your point, man, I think you kind of laid it out for everybody, like what these teams are going through. And obviously Rams seems like they have the most consistency coming into this year, coming off that Super Bowl. But I feel as though they have a veteran group that can handle that. And, you know, obviously you add Bobby Wagner into that mix. You add, you know, Allen Robinson on that side of the ball as well. Well, on the opposite side of the ball. So they adding some pieces to an already good team. The coaching staff is in place, man. So I think they have a great chance of even running it back and getting back to the big show. But I definitely have them winning this division. And we had put it up. You know, we got the over under 10.5. Where you at on this for the Rams?
I feel like it's an easy over for me.
Yeah.
You just talked about the division. Obviously, that's the first thing you look at when you are, you know, coming in. That's the best way to get in the playoffs, easiest way to get in the playoffs, winning your division. I wouldn't necessarily say a clean sweep in the division because
clean sweep.
Nah, the Niners. One thing about the Niners, they have had their number. Up until when it counted most last year. I think they had beat them 6 times in a row or something like that.
Clean sweep.
That Niners team ain't afraid of them.
Nah, they not.
That's a division. You played in that division. So you know that's a physical division. Everybody, you got to show up and beat those cats. So 10.5, I'm going to take the over. I say they win 11, 12 games because this is Matt Stafford's second season with Sean McVay.
It might get ugly.
Cooper Kupp fresh off winning the Triple Crown with Stafford as a quarterback the first year, and now you add a talent like Allen Robinson out there, who this is going to be by far, I think, his best quarterback that he's played in, his best offense that he's played in. So who knows what potential is going to be unlocked with Allen Robinson out there. So it could get ugly out there in LA. But back to that Super Bowl hangover. Like, is it something? And they had a chance to obviously really enjoy this. You know, they're in LA. That's a huge market, probably second biggest market in the country. Is it something really to that Super Bowl hangover?
Yeah, I think so. You got to think about it. You know, you win the Super Bowl. It's the most watched televised program in the world, and everywhere you go, they're calling out Super Bowl champ, Super Bowl champ. I know we had an entire Super Bowl tour where we partying every weekend, and guys in different cities, DC, Miami, Vegas, or whatever. So if you don't have again that leadership in the locker room where yeah, you can go out, you can have a good time, you can party, you can enjoy it. But if you don't have those guys in the locker room who can bring it back together when it's time to go to work, you can definitely have that lull going into the next season because you have that bullseye on your back and you can get everybody's best fight. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. It's like that next year, everybody already know what they're about to play against. So you getting everybody's best shot. And it definitely has some truth to that as far as the Super Bowl hangover. But I think the Rams, again, being the guys that they have in that locker room, the ADs, the Matt Stafford, the Jalen Ramsey,
Bobby
Wagner. When you have those type of guys in your locker room, I don't think it's going to be a problem for the Rams this year.
Yeah, man. And you look around that conference, if you're the Rams, you're like, hey, man, like this is ours for the take. Because I know with y'all, it was tough. It was the Patriots, obviously, the Steelers. I feel like it was either going to be the Colts, the Patriots, or the Steelers, the Ravens, Chargers. Yeah. So it was, so now obviously the AFC is absolutely stacked this year on paper. You look at the NFC, maybe not so much. Obviously you got the Bucks, Brady coming back. Who else you got over there? You got the Packers, who haven't really finished strong. Question marks with the Niners. So we both got the Rams, but let's look at these win totals. We both got the Rams at plus 125 according to FanDuel Sportsbook. The San Francisco 49ers, for those that can't see the screen, are at plus 200. Arizona Cardinals are at plus 300. Oh, you said it earlier. The Seattle Seahawks plus 1,500. But so Seattle Seahawks, sheesh, win totals set at 5.5 with Pete Carroll still there as the head coach. Drew Lock or Geno Smith as of right now will be a quarterback. 5.5 wins for the Seattle Seahawks. Over or under, says AB. 5.5.
I'm gonna go under.
Woo! Damn.
Yeah, they did a great job.
That
at 5.5, but I'm gonna go under, man. Question marks at the quarterback position. You lose one of your longtime vets in Bobby Wag. You still got some weapons on the offensive side. You got DK, you got Tyler, but in that division, Arizona, the Rams, 49ers, it's gonna be tough, man. I'm gonna go under.
That's tough because I still respect Pete Carroll as a coach. But you look around, man,
and he's not playing. I get the coaches. You got to have a good coach, but at the end of the day, them 11 guys on the field gotta play.
Damn, I'm going under 2, man. That's tough. It's hard to pick under 5. Geno didn't play terrible either when he played last year. Shit, under 5. I guess 5. I will put him right at 5. I guess. Damn.
Yeah, that's a tough one right there.
Yeah, I'm
Pete Carroll is not rerouting. Pete Carroll is not. He is not responsible for that B gap. He's not pulling around that corner.
Pete 72. He's gonna be stressed.
Hey,
stress this shit, man. All right, so we both went under. On the San Francisco 49ers. They are over under set at 9.5 according to FanDuel Sportsbook. The over is minus 45. The under is at plus 125. So you're making better money on the under. And I'm right there. I'm at that under. 9.5. New quarterback. Under. I got them right at 8, 9. I was looking actually at their schedule too. FanDuel had posted it. That's what we should have next time, so we can actually look through the schedule and pick the wins and losses.
You know them schedules don't mean nothing right now.
True.
Them schedules don't mean nothing. I'm gonna go under with you as well, D. But that 9.5. Woo! I know my 49er fans. They're gonna get on me about this one. But yeah,
I'm with you. Under.
Yeah, that's gonna be a tough one.
Under.
9.5. Can they win 10 games?
Under.
Hey, I'm with you. I'm with you on the under. I'm with you.
We both said over on this one. Over 10.5 for the Rams, and then the Arizona Cardinals. Their over under is set at 8.5.
Hey, I got a question for you about the Arizona Cardinals. You just mentioned something earlier as far as Arizona Cardinals past few years. They start off hot and they cool off as the season progresses. How can you improve that? Like, is that on the coaches? Is that on the players? If you're the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, if you are one of the vets in that locker room and you see this happening, what can you do going into training camp, going into this year to try to, stop that from happening this year?
That's tough because it's kind of like a fine line to walk, because as me and every year is its own, new year. Whatever happened last year don't matter. That locker room, that's a one-of-one type of locker room. And every year has its new challenges. I remember our thing in Indy was starting off slow when I was there. At least like every season, it was like we were getting a 1-2, 0-3, 0-2 type of hole, and then have to fight your way out for whatever reason. And like, every year was a new year, but that was in the back of our head. You heard people talk about it. You heard Mr. Irsay talk about it, the media, the coach. It's like, damn. And then it still happened. For whatever reason, it still happened. So that's the same thing with the Cardinals in reverse. So I think as a coaching staff, you got to do some self-scouting. You got to look at yourself, okay, is there something game plan-wise that we aren't adjusting? Are people just catching up to our scheme? Because as you know, you come into the year, it's a lot of question mark. Okay, are they going to do this differently? You got Hollywood Brown instead of Christian Kirk. What are they going to do differently? You got Zach Ertz fully ingrained in the offense. How is that going to look different? So it's a lot of moving parts. But as that season progresses, we get more and more of a book on that quarterback, on that coach, what they like, on the personnel defensive wise. So you got to do a good job of self-scouting. And then physically, like, what are y'all doing physically as far as workout routine, weight room, the training rooms? Are guys getting banged up later in the season every year? Is it soft tissue injuries? Is it this, that? Then you're on the West Coast, so then you got to factor in your west to east trips, all that type of thing. So it's stuff you got to do from the coaching staff, from management, and then as a player, for us, man, it's just week to week, man. Just managing yourself, being a pro, managing your meeting room, and then obviously different players in different leadership positions. They gotta because it's on us sometimes, set that tone for practice, set that tone for meetings, walkthroughs, everything. It's the vets. I saw something that a clip of Air Reed speaking about something that Chuck Pagano had brought up to us one time when he was in Indy, about like just doing the little things, like as far as cleaning up after yourself, the showers, the little shit that people think don't matter, but really do in the grand scheme of things. So it's a lot of that goes into it. But this has been something that Cliff Kingsbury has dealt with even in his college career. So I think he's got to take a hard, long look in the mirror, probably more than anybody else, and figure out what he can do. And that's why they get paid the big bucks. That's why these head coaches, are in these positions to figure that out. But it's gonna be interesting to see if they do. But obviously, it's not talent. You don't jump out to, I think, what are they, 10-1 or 10-2 last year?
Yeah,
out the gate. Something crazy. You don't just do that on accident in the National Football League. So it's definitely, whatever issues there are, whatever problems there are to fix and turn around, is in that Arizona building. So they got to figure it out, and hopefully it will. Or you got to make some decisions.
No doubt.
Shit, I think Cliff just got read up, right? So he ain't tripping.
Hey, Cliff watching
this.
Cliff watching this show right now. Like, man, what they talking about?
Hey, Cliff doing something right. He dealt with that shit, the same shit in college. Got hired up, got rid of my man Wilkes out there at AZ for him. He's won, but shit, he ain't figured it out yet. Hopefully he figured it out this year.
Yeah,
but they said that 8.5 over under set at 8.5, same odds, basically minus 110 on your money. Where you have the Arizona Cardinals this year? More or less than 8.5 wins.
They lose Chandler Jones.
Big loss. Huge loss.
I think Kyler Murray comes. I think Kyler Murray makes a big jump on the field this year. I'm gonna go more.
You're going over 8.
I'm going over.
I'm with you. I'm
going over.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on the over as well. Like we said last year, they were, I think, the first team to 10 wins last year. And every year is a new year. Kyler got to stay healthy too, man. Got to stay healthy. And I know nobody's trying to get hurt, but his health is vital to this team. He's, super, super talented. Hopefully he gets his money before the season. If not, he'll be playing for a new deal. But yeah, I'm with you on that over 8. I'd say they at least get 10.
And I know you mentioned as far as just what is it later on in the season, guys are getting banged up or whatever, soft tissue injuries or whatever. Their strength coach, Buddy, OG in the game. I know when I was there for 2 years, man, and he knows what he's doing. So I know he has implementing the right stuff to keep those guys on the field, keep them healthy, keep them strong. So I can definitely attest to that they have the right person in that spot to keep the guys right. So we gonna see.
So we both in the over there. So we're on the same page with the Rams winning this division. And just to fly through these win totals one more time until we move on. Before we move on, should I say? We got, so both on the same page with the Rams winning. So plus 125 their odds, that's locked in. Seattle Seahawks win total 5.5. We both took the under at plus 110 on the FanDuel Sports book. San Francisco 49ers win total 9.5. We both took the under. AB gonna take some heat from Niner faithful.
I love y'all.
Under plus 125. The Rams at 10.5. We took the over. Both took the over. And then the Arizona Cardinals. I would bet my bottom dollar this actually moves. And I think the last division we did, the AFC North, I think the Ravens have since moved up to 10.5. They were at 9.5 on this show. I think somebody else moved too. But we both got the over here with the Arizona Cardinals at 8.5. So there you have it. Our take on the NFC West for the upcoming season.
I can't wait. Yes. I can't wait till this ball get going, man.
It's gonna be an exciting season, man.
Exciting season. That's the NFL. Let's go to the college ranks real quick. He's been in the news for a lot that he's doing over there at Jackson State. Deion Sanders pledges half his salary to renovate Jackson State University's football facilities. I think he did that in order to get the football facilities ready before the start of the season. But again, man, Coach Prime doing some great stuff down there at Jackson State. He's continuing to move that needle, the talk and the conversations when it comes to HBCU football. We talked about it Monday. The XFL with the Rock and company were down there and hosting I guess their workout, XFL workout with HBCU athletes at Jackson State University. We've seen Coach Prime there as well. So shout out to Coach Prime. Continue to do what you're doing, man. Be one of the voices for the HBCU. HBCU. So that's dope.
And putting that in action, behind his words. And like you said, this is him helping move this along and get the renovations done before the season starts. So this is it's big, man. Shout out to Coach Prime.
Yeah, Tone Gaines, Prime legendary on and off the field for sure. My guy Rod, stand-up guy. Gotta love that guy. Yeah, man. He's doing some good stuff.
That's big. That's big. Now, Coach Prime, actually, he was on an interview with comedian Desi Banks, and I didn't watch the whole interview, but I saw a clip that was put out, him talking about why black kids don't play baseball, as much as the other sports, and how you priced out in a lot. And obviously that was something he was able to do when he was young. And we had some history in the MLB draft, this past draft that just happened a few days ago. It's crazy. The NFL, one of their probably biggest accomplishments is what they were able to do with the draft, like the spectacle that they made it, because these other drafts, MLB, NHL, NBA, like it doesn't hold a candle. But this is huge, though. MLB draft history made for what is believed to be the first time in the Major League Baseball draft. 4 of the 5 top selections were black. So that's huge, man. That's huge, for the game, and huge for obviously the black boys looking up to this. This is representation on the highest level. So that's dope.
Did you play baseball growing
Man,
up?
never, literally not one rep. I remember in high school, my coach wanted me to get involved, but I think the season.
He wanted you to run. He wanted you to run the bases. Shit.
I think the seasons, man. Because I played basketball, I couldn't play. But looking back, I wish I would have at least tried it.
Yeah.
And it's one of those sports where, especially as a kid, man, I had ADD, man. I had to be active. I had to be doing in and out. Baseball, you out in the outfield, so it wasn't really, I didn't really look at it man, I want to get out there and try it. But my younger brothers played. My brother Denzel, he got hit with the ball one time. Yeah, that was a wrap for him. He was good too, but I didn't play. Never played. I honestly wish I did. I wish I at least tried it just to see where it was at. What about you?
Nah, I played it a few years. I think I stopped right around 9-10 years old.
Okay.
Similar to your brother. That's when them curveballs started coming, knuckleballs started coming, or jumping out the box. Got hit with a ball. And that's kind of like deaded the enjoyment of the game. My oldest brother, my older brother, he played he played a lot when we were in Germany, and we came over to the States, and he continued to play, and I started playing too, man. But to your point though, signed my little man up for T-ball, and this was last year or right before the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yo, like you want to play again next year? And to your point, he like, Dad, that's boring. Like I need to be moving around.
Yeah.
And obviously he much younger, but even in his mind, just off the top, it's like, nah, man, that ain't for me. I need to be moving around. So
yeah, it's tough, man. I can't really watch unless it's, playoff baseball. I like it. But it is just, and I don't know what you can do about it to make it more entertaining. Maybe that's just the game. I know it's America's pastime, but I did watch some of the All-Star game, and with some of the players being mic'd up. That was dope. That was a dope production, to be able to hear the pitcher and the catcher talking, or hear a guy on the base like thinking, all right, they want me to run. I know they're gonna gun me down. Like just different things like that. If you got that in it, I think even something like that will make it more entertaining. But on that youth level, on that young level, it's very, it can get monotonous, man. If you're out there in that outfield, or I know infield is active in that infield. So if I would have played, I'd have probably been a shortstop, second baseman,
first base,
something like that. Shortstop. I'm in that infield shortstop. Take it, fade. Hey, or probably a pitcher. Shoot, man, probably a pitcher. I'm watching the art, man. The movement, like you said, when you started the curves and them boys throwing 100-mile-per-hour cutters.
Man, you don't know what's coming, bro. Like that shit coming at you, curve at the last minute. Man, you ain't gonna have my anxiety up in that box.
Man, but lot of bread in that thing, man. A lot of money in that. Sure. And that but even Juan Soto turned down at 440.
As he should. But even to Prime's point, though, as far as being priced out, like that's a very, very, and even like the parents that I come in contact with, baseball is a very, very expensive sport where a ton of travel. And a lot of times, in the cities,
equipment too,
yeah. And then with the training, like if you want to be serious about it, got to get that training. So it's a very expensive sport. So to Prime's point.
Yeah, man. Baseball. Speaking of expensive sports, we got the French Grand Prix this weekend. It's race week. And like we mentioned on Monday, this will be Sir Lewis Hamilton's 300th race, which puts him in a prestigious club. I think he'll be a 6th ever driver to hit that number 300. So shout out to Sir Lewis. The current standings right now, we got Max Verstappen in the lead. These are the driver standings. These are comparisons from last year after the midway point.
It should have been the same since May.
No. See, Leclerc was in the front. He's had some issues, so Verstappen has jumped up. Leclerc actually won last week's race, so
I don't know, D-Bud. This shit been looking at this chart. I know you put this chart up about every 2 weeks. This chart been looking the same for the past 3-4 months.
Max Verstappen's in the league. Got Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen, Red Bull, Leclerc, Ferrari, Sergio Perez, Checo Perez, Red Bull's 3rd, Carlos Sainz in 4th, and he got George Russell, Lewis Hamilton in 5th and 6th with Mercedes. So, as to AB's point, the top 3 constructors, Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes, they're kind of always going to be up there in that top. Kind of like the Colts, Patriots, Steelers back in the day in the AFC. These are the team comparisons. Red Bull's in the lead, Ferrari, and then Mercedes in 3rd. 359 points, 303 points, and 237 points, respectively. Should be a great race, though. The French Grand Prix this weekend.
Now, Kiba, she, I guess she been tapped in, as well.
The Cuban is tapped in.
Ferrari cars can't finish a race. Tap me in. Why can't Ferrari supposed to be one of the best? Cars out there. Why can't they finish a race?
Red Bull had some issues too early on in the season. That was Max's thing. It was like the first 6 races.
Red Bull, they want to give you wings so you can fly. So you know what I'm saying? Ferrari, though.
They've had some issues. They have some not only issues with the parts in the car, but in my opinion, they have had major issues with management, like with managing stops or managing drivers, when to let them race, when to say, hey, let's put this guy in the front, let's let him do his thing. So they've had when to do pit stops. They've had some issues in that regard, and that's another element to F1 that makes it entertaining and interesting for me, at least, is the management, the crew, the strategy. Because the strategy, you go into a race with a certain strategy, and then as the race unfolds, different things happen, and then the better teams, typically make the better decisions and then put their drivers in the best position to win. So, been major issues with Ferrari. To that point, Charles Leclerc, in my opinion, should be head and shoulders in front with his driver championship right now. He is not. But that Ferrari crew absolutely stinks, in my opinion. The drivers are great. The car could be better. To Nakiba's point, they've had some reliability issues. But it's interesting, man. It is I'm glad Nakiba's into it. I'm glad she probably got, because once you get in a little bit, once you dip your pinky toe in there, especially if you follow sports, if you're in competitive sports, you see the pit crews, the the managers, all that stuff. And then you get the drama that plays on behind, you know, how much Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton absolutely hate each other's guts. It's great to watch how passive aggressive they are, because it's funny, they hate each other and they got to be in the same room after they both, you know, finish top 3 in the race. So it's funny, but yeah, to your point, I remember you brought that up earlier, like, damn, how they engine, your turbo just going out in the middle of the race.
Yeah, that's all you gotta worry about. Like the engine people, like just make sure I'm good for the race, and this shit going out like don't make no sense to me.
Yeah, man. They got and apparently Ferrari has had these type of issues, not so much the mechanical stuff, but the other stuff management wise for years. It's kind of been their thing. OBS games for days. Darius, you ever driven an F1 car? If not, when are you going to drive an F1 car? I don't have no plans to drive. I jump in the simulator, but nah, buddy. You catch on fire. I don't know if I can handle those G's. That's something. These kids grow up karting and doing all this other shit, but nah, that ain't. I watch it. I watch. I swear I watch. My guy Bernie Mac would say.
Sure. When I wanted to jump on this when we was talking about the MLB. It's kind of something that you talking about the All-Star, but the cheap and petty moves from some of these MLB teams to their All-Stars. First, the Nationals. Obviously, you know, Soto, he turned down a 15-year, $400+ million deal. So in turn, instead of sending their All-Star on a PJ, Soto had to fly commercial. Ended up arriving in LA at 1:30 a.m. But he was like, you know, he did what winners do.
Man.
Performing and won the Derby. And then the A's, their All-Star, they booked him a commercial flight to the MLB All-Star game.
Paul Blackburn.
Then when the Houston Astros heard about it, they said, hey, look, man, come on over with us, man. We chartered a plane. You can ride with us.
Shout out to the Astros.
For sure. As a former player, and, you know, obviously you didn't play as a former athlete, a former pro, are these good looks for these teams? We talking about the Washington Nationals and the A's. Are these good looks?
I mean, it's a terrible look. And I know, you know, for people looking in, outside people looking in, like, probably like, oh my God, should feel so bad because he has to fly commercial. Boo-hoo. It's not really that. That's not the point, because when you're a team, when you're a professional team, you're not only doing these things for the people that are currently in your building. You are at some point going to want free agents to come to you. All these, you're going to draft people. Like, you want people to come and want to play for your franchise. And it's not a good look from the Nationals, amongst other things that have made shit look bad for them. This is not a good look. And then, you know, these are baseball players. These aren't like football players. I could hop on a commercial flight. In the height of my playing days, a lot of football players can. And maybe unless you're in your own city, a lot of people may not know, you're not getting hounded for autographs or pictures. I'm sure these baseball players, especially if they're all-star levels, like, it's a different process for them going out and you know, going to the airport, a place you have to stand around and kind of be around. So it's not a good look. It's not a good look, especially Oakland A's. You got your one All-Star, Paul Blackburn, I believe is his name. It's so bad to where another team, say, hey, come hop on our jet, man. We'll take care of you. Like, come on, man. It's a bad look watching Nationals, and it's a bad look for the Oakland Athletics as well, man. Like, come on, man. Stop being petty. I know the national shit. I know that was petty.
That was all petty. Yeah.
You know what I mean? He turned down the 15-year, $440 million deal, and what most people are gonna look at, oh my God, that's $440 million like that, which obviously is great generational money, but it's a 23-year-old player, an all-star, 15 years. I feel like this is more of a PR move to the fans to say, hey, we tried to keep him. He turned down $440 million.
He doesn't want to be a part of. He don't want to be part of what we got going on.
Exactly, and you're not even putting him in the top, I think, 20 average per year when the day he signs that contract. So I think it's a bad move, man. If you're a player, do you take another team? Absolutely.
Absolutely. I'm drinking up everything.
What?
I'm eating everything, no question. With my taking my shoes off, got my feet up. Hey, give me an extra pillow.
I might even throw a Astros fitted on. Give me a blanket on. That boy get a
Hey,
fit.
hey,
What you mean?
absolutely. Ha!
Yes,
No
sir.
questions asked.
Speaking of franchises, though, the owner of the Golden State Warriors got fined. Joe Lacob got fined 500 racks. I know that's gonna hurt him for violating the league's policy on publicly discussing the CBA to collective bargaining talks, which included Lacob describing the luxury tax system as very unfair in a recent podcast. Sources told ESPN. The comments aired on the Point Forward podcast hosted by Andre Iguodala and Evan Turner, included Lacob defending the Warriors championship roster and league-leading payroll and luxury tax bills that exceeded $340 million in the franchise's championship season. So basically, he was saying, like, you know, most of our talent is homegrown. So it's unfair for us to be affected by these luxury tax bills and things. I agree with him. You know what I mean? I think if you drafting talent, obviously you brought in Wiggins and maybe some other pieces, obviously with Kevin Durant a few years ago. But this team here, Draymond, Clay, Steph, Kuminga, a lot of these guys that contributed were homegrown drafted talent. So I'm with you, Jake. Joe Lacob. Sorry, I'm going to call him something else. Joe Lacob. He got a slap on the wrist. But I agree with him. How you feel about this?
I agree with him too. My only question is, why is he getting fined? Like what? Because I'm an owner, I can't like that's whack to me. Like we talking about if I'm in it with y'all, like I should be able to talk about too. I should be able to talk about the good and the bad. You know what I'm saying? That's whack to me. But I agree with him. You know.
Yeah. I agree with Cuz too, man. Big chilling on the plane.
Nah, I ain't gonna do him like that, but I'm definitely got the shoes off. I'm comfortable.
Yeah, man. What else we got? But I think, the keeper said that man knows the rules. You get the same issue you had before free agency in the NFL. I don't know what issues. You got to educate me on that. What NFL team fired a coach after a loss on the road? What NFL team fired a coach after a loss on the road and didn't fly him back? Am I remembering that correctly?
I don't know.
I vaguely remember something like that happening too. I don't remember who it was. But I don't know. Whatever. Anything else we got, man? We talked a little bit about crypto. Woo! Elon lying to folks again. Elon saw on the
and folks still eating it up.
On an earnings call earlier this week, I believe Elon and Tesla disclosed that they sold 75% of their Bitcoin holdings amongst, the crypto winter that everyone's dealing with. Three Arrows is, big player in crypto that is folded. Coinbase, I believe they were under some scrutiny for not letting people withdraw their money. Speaking of, over in China, it was a bank that basically said, or a few banks that said, hey, your investments are now for the state to use to invest in others. You can't take your money out of here. So they literally had to line the street with tanks to protect the banks from the people. Sri Lanka, they ran their president up out of his crib. He had to resign while he was on the run. So it's a lot of crazy.
Hey, it's getting wild.
It's a lot of spooky shit going on. We spoke about the Titanic a few weeks ago on the show, I believe. But the dollar, I believe, has moved up above the euro. A lot of things going on right now. But crypto, obviously one of the most volatile markets out there. And Tesla, this move is going to make it a little bit worse. So I'm not going to read this whole thing. The CEO, Elon Musk, said his company sold the tokens to maximize its cash position because of the uncertainty related to COVID shutdowns, adding that it should not be seen as, quote, some verdict on Bitcoin. Tesla disclosed a $1.5 billion investment in Bitcoin in February 2021. And Musk embraced that it has helped serve as a catalyst for the digital currency. It's currently trading around $23,000, down from the record high of almost $69,000 in November. That was according to Bloomberg Business.
Man, Elon Musk tripping, his pops tripping. They all tripping. But before we get out of here, it's a good question because Asante, y'all check out the I'm Athlete pod, man. The latest one had one of our former guest, Asante Samuel, on the show. And Marley Moore asks, man, what y'all think about Asante basing DB greatness on interceptions and then downplaying DB tackles?
Well, I gotta watch it first to give I guess a real answer. But the DB, we talk about numbers all the time on here. I think interceptions should definitely be factored in. It's not. I don't think any one thing, should make it. Pro Bowls. AB always talks about team success. You don't think Super Bowls or playoff wins should necessarily be factoring in as much. I think it all has its role, and then what we saw, what we watched, and then obviously as players we were in it, but what we watched during their era and how they impacted the game. And there's been greats at every phase of the game and greats at doing different things. Asante was obviously a great at turning that ball over, which is extremely important. But that's not to downplay, the other facets that go into DB play. But I got to watch the whole interview and see it in its context to give a real, response to it. What about you?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I got to watch the entire interview just to see what the premise of his statement. But to your point, man, you got to look at the total package. Like interceptions is very key. And tackling is very key. That's the game of football. You tackling, you creating turnovers. That's it. And you can't take anything out of the game of football, especially when you're talking about, just say we're talking about DBs. That's what DBs do. You cover, you tackle, you try to turn the ball over. So when you're talking about a Hall of Fame player or a great player, you got to include all of that. But to your point, you definitely got to look at the entire interview just to see where he was coming from. But some of the snippets that I did see, man, he was passionate about, his stance on certain topics. So y'all go check that episode out.
Yeah, from what I've seen, it looks like it was a great interview. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, this their best one yet." And he was on with us. He gets passionate. Once Zant started talking about football and numbers and history and obviously Hall of Fame and things like that. Even Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, he attributes all that, the majority of that Patriot success and dynasties to Tom Brady. I definitely disagree with him on that. I definitely give Tom Brady a bunch of credit, but I think Bill Belichick deserves a lot of credit as well when it comes to that. So I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, about to make me go watch that. He said he called out Revis, Tyler, Champ,
Namdi. I know he called out Namdi. I saw that clip.
I can understand that one. But damn, Revis, Tyler, and Champ.
I don't know. Gotta go check it out.
Yeah, go check that one out.
All right, man.
Hey, man, y'all have a good weekend, man. I know I posted this on my Twitter. But my meditation topic this morning was leveling up. So, to the family here, man, what y'all gonna do, man, this weekend and start the day. What y'all gonna do to level up? It could be financially, it could be personally, it could be fitness wise, but what y'all gonna do? Take that first step to leveling up.
Yes, sir. We're gonna ask you about it on Monday too. And we may even have a new interview for you. But appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. Obviously the interaction, the comments, that's the best part of the show. So we appreciate y'all. We will see y'all on Monday, same time, same place.
Peace.
I remember when they got together. I was like, ooh, that better be a squad. They brought DRC over there too.
Yeah, Namdi was Namdi had that year, boy. He probably had like 2 years where he was.
He was first. He got that 15 a year.
Yeah,
but way back. Got that 3 for 45.
The only thing I would say about Namdi is just the longevity, how long he did it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Not taking anything away from him, but you know, he didn't do it as long as the other greats.
Always something to talk about. But I'll see y'all Monday, man. Hey, Sunday, y'all tap into that French Grand Prix, man. Do yourself a favor. Football season almost here, but you know, get into this F1 before it is.
I heard him.
See y'all Monday.
All right.
All right, y'all. Go.